Good afternoon, everyone. And my name is Gagan. I would like to welcome all of you today for our webinar on BIS certification requirements for the furniture products in India. And I think it's one of the best times to have this session, considering a lot of regulatory developments happening in the country, and furniture products has good potential, not only in the consumer markets, also for the how the country is looking at build the quality and the exports. So on behalf of REACHLaw, I would like to thank all the participants for joining this session. I guess participants are still joining, but in order to respect the time, we will start the session now. And this webinar, as you see, is organized in collaboration with AFMT. This is one of the leading association of furniture in manufacturers in India, and we appreciate their support in bringing us and all of your participants and industry, and being us as a regulatory expert to come together and share experiences on this important topic. Although AFMT team could not join this because of some time constraints, but they have been instrumental in organizing this session. I guess they're also promoting this event in the group, in the members, and we really thank them for continual collaboration. And we are also the member of the AFMT as a service provider. And as many of you are aware that implementation of the furniture quality control order, we will know all this quality control order, we will know all kind of regulations, framework in this session. But this quality control order on furniture is a significant change for your industry. And as you see from this month, February 2026, 13th of February, precisely that date, the BIS certification becomes mandatory for several categories of the products that you are manufacturing or bringing via import routes into the country. And it's talk about meeting the quality standards. We will discuss about, and also will gradually and hopefully improve the consumer safety in terms of using these products that you are manufacturing in India. So this is our objective today, I think, is to simplify these requirements. As REACHLaw, we believe that we would like to give you very simple in terms of what it means, and then practical steps so that you can go ahead and apply for the certifications as a manufacturer. So we will cover a lot of topics, but before we start, let's go to the next slide. So here we are. I will first introduce myself, and you will see also on your screen our colleagues, experts from the same domain are present. My name is Gagan Kumar. I'm the Managing Director of REACHLaw India Private Limited. By background, I'm a chemical engineer. I've been located at New Delhi, working in product regulations and regulations for more than 15 years. And I've been leading this unit. But then we are also looking to support many companies in meeting the compliances. As I mentioned, that we are always looking forward to guiding companies based on their infrastructure knowledge, and happy to join this and share my experiences. Over to you, Rashmi.
Hello everyone. I am Rashmi Srivastava, and I work as Senior Manager Regulatory Affairs BIS Certification at REACHLaw India. And in my role, I am operations. And today's webinar, I will help you to understand the scope and compliance standard and product manual for furniture. And I'll then pass it to Abhishek to introduce himself. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashmi. I am Abhishek Shukla, and I work as an associate. I look after the BIS certifications, and I'm also experienced in product safety and performance testing. And in today's webinar, I will cover the process involved in BIS furniture certifications. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you, Abhishek. And let's proceed now for the session. For the bandwidth, I'm hiding my video, but you will hear me, and I will moderate this session throughout this session webinar. So this is what we intend to cover today. I will talk about my company, REACHLaw, and then we will talk about the overview of legal framework, what it means, and how furniture products are covered in this regulatory framework. Then we will talk about the products, the scope that are covered in this certification, mandatory certification. We will also cover the process for furniture products, so you know what it takes to achieve the certification. So yes, then I will also be covering the role of authorized India representative. If some foreign manufacturers or distributors in India are attending this webinar using foreign manufacturers to sell furniture products into India, then this is important to understand their role. And then I will also be covering the cost components. A few of these slides will be covered by my colleagues. But yes, I will come back and I will talk about the cost part. Then I will also be covering whatever regulatory updates and developments. Then you should take it forward from there. And then we will have at the end Q&A session. So here you will see our company in brief. We are based out of Helsinki, Finland. Our operation started way back in 2006, and we already provide regulatory compliance services to more than thousands customers from 60 plus countries. We have offices in 7 countries and 8 cities. In India, we are based in New Delhi and Mumbai. And our head office, as I said, is in Helsinki, Finland. So we are a European uh, regulatory compliance firm. More than 50 plus professionals with different education background are providing services, because we deal a lot of products and regulations, and we have different kind of skills to meet the regulatory requirement. We do work with local partners where languages and support our customers meeting different kind of compliances, and there we take support of our partners. We speak more than 10 different global languages, and these are some of our major industries. We are not limiting ourselves, but we uh, work with these kind of manufacturing firms. And for more information, I request you to visit our website. So this is an overview of our services. We have essentially 4 pillars. Compliances remains the main, where most of the consultants belongs. And in compliances, we have chemical compliances, and then we have product compliance. The topic for today falls under product compliance. As you see, the BIS certificate is listed there. And there are other product compliances. These are the regulations which are active in Europe. So we do provide services on advocacy, which is high level consulting to our customers to defend their interest against the regulatory requirement. And then we also have some services on sustainability in order to support again our customers meeting these regulatory requirement. So at REACHLaw, I would like to highlight our values, which is core among core of all of us. And this starts with global collaboration. We work, as you see, in different countries. So we always foster knowledge exchange, teamwork, which is key for, again, one of our values. And we always believe in quality and professionalism. We also try to promote this in any manner we communicate with our customers or third parties. And I think it's important to meet this kind of quality also in handling the work, not only manufacturing, but how we handle the work for our customers is also something we believe. Adaptability in terms of changing very complex environment. Regulatory movements are rapid in India, and we need to really understand, and somebody has to understand what changes are coming, and we have to adopt, whether it's on our process, whether it's in any standards. So for example, that we understand this landscape and adopt quickly. And last but not least, the integrity. We hold all the ethical standards, and we build trust and transparency in all communications and work we do with our customers and any parties that involved in that work. It's something which we really proud of and lead to the excellence for our customers. So our customer benefits from our values. And we have our own YouTube channel, so the content is growing rapidly. We have now 167 videos. So we have other videos on BIS certification. So if you intend to go and discuss, and so please use it also for trainings of your internal functions and groups. So happy to uh, uh, share more content, and if you subscribe, you will get to know when new videos or content is uploaded there. This is just to because it's also required that we are a professional. The content of this presentation is mainly for general purpose and not a substitute for consultation with professional experts in this area. So therefore, any actions you may take based on this presentation is under your own responsibility and risk, and no representations or warranties are made with regards to the completeness or accuracy of the content of this presentation, and no liability resulted by REACHLaw Limited. So this is something that I need to read for the purpose of this, plus some copyright notes. As you see, it's common that if you would like to use this material, please contact us before making it for your own purpose. So looking at the overview of the BIS regulatory framework, I like this slide. I use this slide whenever I talk when the companies are understanding the BIS. So BIS is basically why we need it in India now is, of course, the mission, as you are all aware of, is towards Viksit Bharat, for getting a developed nation by 2047, and the government and other departments are aggressively working towards it. And make in India is something that of course made in India is there always, but this is something that is required to meet that scale and economy, and to become a manufacturing hub, so that we could lead to certain level. So this driving economic growth and innovation is the key. And domestic industry, for you it's a furniture, so I think collectively it's important to understand the quality aspect. So all the products, I believe, what difference we have, the products that developed or manufactured in India or the products developed outside India, be it Europe or US or Japan, is the quality. So whenever we see that the difference is the quality. So I think it's important for us to meet that gap, is to build on the quality. And we constantly, I really like the statement. So quality is something that world accepts, and we need to deliver at least the quality which is acceptable, but it should be the best coming out of India. And therefore the made in India products will be on display in the countries that we travel outside India. So it's basically the quality which brings you there on their on that platform. And BIS role is important here. I think looking at the standardization and certification process, which is aligned with the global competitiveness and global quality, which is where we will see in the next slide. But this BIS, Bureau of Indian Standard, really the quality gatekeeper for India's manufacturing surge. So here you see the BIS, what it looks like, the authority. This logo on the triangle is the logo of the Bureau of Indian Standards. And this, the picture is the head office at New Delhi. The BIS belongs to the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. So they work under this ministry, and was established in 1986. It's a pretty old body, standardization body, and responsible for all your guidances, practical handling of the certifications, issuing the certification, maintaining those certifications, and all. And they have also regional offices. So if you, for example, manufacturing, nowadays domestic manufacturing is mostly digital. So we will see in our slides that how the certifications are achieved. But this Regional offices are also kind of contact points for the companies manufacturing in different states. And around more than 20,000 standards are already published, which are getting modified, updated with the members of ISO and IAC, so that the harmonized standards are there in the country in India. And if you want to export any of your product, you will not face any challenge, because the same standard is or the same quality is already adopted by the local country standards, which are at par with Indian standards. So the Indian standards, this is the role. Of course, the framework is the BIS Act 2016, and then there are regulations and rules defined under this act, which is the Bureau of Indian Standard Conformity Assessment Regulation 2018. This is the basis of the framework of all your certification. So this is the main regulatory requirement and main regulation which acts. And under this, the scheme 1 is something that we will cover today, which is ISI mark, and that is where the furniture products require certification within the scheme 1 ISI mark. And this is the requirement covered in this conformity assessment regulation. The mandate is clear: to satisfy the customer needs for quality. So quality remains the backbone of for this requirement. And safety. So safety of the people, if it is consumer used or anybody is using, and the workers are involved in manufacturing of that. Also the safety and quality, I think, is the main, which is important for India to meet that standard that is globally accepted. Objective: the harmonization of all the standards, conformity assessment, quality assurance, and so developing industry and consumer needs, so that we adopt what kind of new requirements are coming up, so that we adopt quickly in meeting those quality standards. So this is something from the annual report of BIS. Its source is defined, but you can visit the website bis.gov.in, which provides more information, which part of which is covered in this presentation. So this is just to give you an overview of the BIS. As you see, it's from Ministry of Consumer Affairs and Food and Public Distribution, Department of Consumer Affairs. And the BIS Act 2016 allows all the central government, all the 15 regulators, these are the ministries you see on this slide. So the central government will or already doing and developing the quality control order, which is a regulation, a product specific regulation, and cover a set of product or multiple products. So it could be a vertical regulation or a horizontal regulation, which defines the products that are requiring certification or mandatory certification. And these are the authority. So the nodal authority releasing the quality control order, we will see what it means, but for furniture. But these are basically the under the BIS Act, they are they are uh, releasing these orders under their various ministries. And then once the orders are issued, the BIS will act and implement that order, meaning that you need to get the certifications from the BIS in order to meet this regulatory requirement. So looking at the quality control order, what does it mean? The on this slide, you will see from the 12th of February 2026, the order, which is amended order of recent furniture QCO, which was originally in 2025. And that order was supposed to be implemented after 12 months, which is 13th of February 2026. So the order is already implemented. But what a quality control order typically contains, it contains basically what are the what is the scope. So what are the products that are covered in this quality control order? So as you see, this quality control order is a horizontal. It covers some of these furniture articles: work chairs, general purpose chairs and stools, tables and desk, storage units, beds and bunk beds. And under this, each product has a standard, Indian standard. An Indian standard will define more what is the scope of the work chairs and what are the testing requirements, what is the other things. So we will cover this. My colleagues will cover that part later on. when you understand the Indian standards for work chairs, for example. But this quality control order covers scope. It covers what is the main requirement. So you are required to comply with the BIS license. You are required to affix or fix the ISI mark, the logo on your products, in order to sell these products in the Indian market. And what is the deadline? So when this is implemented? So it was published in 13th of February 2025. It comes in force in 13th of February 2026. So a few weeks already passed that this order is now in force, which means that any product that is sold without this is illegal in the country. So purpose is safety and quality, as I mentioned, and there are certain exemptions which is also we will cover in this slide, next slides. But these quality control order also in a way can cover the exemptions. So we will see that those exemptions, as you see in this slide, more I will elaborate in the next slide. Now, this is something which I talked about the, let's say the amendment in 2026, the order that amendment is. So amendment in a way, I will briefly simplify this furniture QCO for everyone. Of course, you can read this slide, but government has introduced this quality control order 2025 to ensure that the furniture sold in the Indian market meets minimum safety and quality standards. And under this order, as you see, the 6 categories of furniture is covered. Now you require a compulsory BIS certification and ISI mark before they can be sold in India. So that, because it's already off, we are in 24th of February. The original order gave industry approximately 1 year to prepare with the implementation, which starts from this 13th of February 2026. So government gave you 1 year to implement this order, implement this certification. And but then they have issued certain exemption. For example, you see the R&D import relaxation, which is 200 units a year. Of course, there is certain conditions that how you can apply for this exemption under R&D. But it is to give you more, in a way, support for the industry. It doesn't mean that the you don't need a certification. It's more of practical handling of this requirement. And then some practical flexibility it has just provided, nothing else. So this amendment doesn't remove the BIS compliance, but it just gives you practical flexibility. And now let's say this is one of this R&D exemption, and then existing stock that is produced before the implementation, which is 13th of February, can be sold for up to 12 months with declaration. And then you also have export flexibility. Let export oriented manufacturing gets additional operational flexibility. And last but not the least, the MSME exemption. This is not covered in this amendment, but the other corresponding order, uh, wherein furniture is QC is covered. So MSME exemption is the another order, but which has many quality controls are covered. So if you want to understand anything, please contact us. But MSME order is a separate, and it covers furniture quality control order. So which says, and these are very small companies, which could be unorganized sector. So if you, even if you are micro enterprise under the Udyam portal, and the new definition which is launched in 2025, you do not qualify here. So you still need a certificate. Your deadline is okay, it's probably August, we will see in the next slide, but you still need a certificate. This is exemption is only for very small companies which has investment in less than 1 crores of Indian rupees, and then the turnover of less than 5 crores are exempted, but then this needs to be CA certified. So this is something which I would like to cover. And but from the legal perspective, after this implementation date, which is, again I repeat, 13th of February 2026, selling or importing non-BIS certified furniture becomes illegal and may lead to penalties. So this slide, as you see, would, for example, legal deadline has crossed. So we start with the custom seizures. So the imports without BIS certified may be detained or seized by the Indian customs. And if you are locally storing, selling, you will also be forced for the penalties. So non-compliance may lead to fines, imprisonment, and confiscation of the goods. This is according to the BIS Act 2016. And you will see in most of the news now, the e-commerce compliance. So online marketplace must ensure that only BIS certified products you are selling. So this is something BIS compliance remains mandatory, but amendment helps business transition smoothly without disrupting operations. So here are the compliance deadlines: 13th February for large and medium according to the Arodhyam certificate, MSME Act, and then 13th of August 2026 for small and micro enterprise according to the standard definition of MSME. So I believe these are some of the slides which you will take up. So I'll hand over to the team now.
Thank you, Gagan. And yes, I'll take up this. So furniture products covered under mandatory BIS certification. Before we actually start, we need to understand, like Gagan also mentioned, what all products are covered, but we need to understand the readiness at the manufacturer end and how they should decide that what product and the scope of license should be covered. So, okay, there's a lag. So this is the product scope scheme 1 for ISI marking. Almost 641 products are there, and furniture is one of the one. If you see this highlighted 101 serial number, and also we are covering plywood and wooden flush door shutter here as it is related to furniture industry. So this is the complete category of the products under scheme 1 for ISI certification. These products mandatory need certification as per their deadline as per QCO. So the next one is the scope of the furniture. So as you see on my screen, work chair as per Indian Standard 17631/2022, general purpose chairs and stools Indian Standard 17632/2022, table and desk Indian Standard 17633/2022, storage units Indian Standard 17634/2022, beds Indian Standard 17635/2022, and bunk beds 17636/2021. So these 6 products are covered under the mandatory certification and now implemented for large and medium enterprises. And let's understand more from the perspective of Indian Standard and Product Manual, that how you start before you start for the BIS certification document, because the process starts with the documentation. But before that, as I mentioned, readiness. So everyone is manufacturing a lot of varieties under the same product category. So the first thing is that you need to decide on the grouping of the product, which is family creation. So you have to decide a family, and every Indian Standard and Product Manual has this guidance how you decide on the family, because there are certain essential parameters given based on which you need to decide. So other than family, you also need to work on the lead model selection, because from each family you had to select one lead model which will represent the whole varieties from that particular family. And there is also a criteria how you select a lead model. So suppose the model which incorporates maximum number of components for testing purpose as per Indian standards, and also bears the maximum risk in the term of safety. So this will be your lead model which you select from each of the family. And also the documentation will go for only these lead model. Testing will also happen for these lead model. But as they are representing the complete family, all the varieties you need to list down, and that will be covered under your scope of license. Other than that, you also need to provide a technical justification why you have selected the lead model. So now we will see one by one. As you see on my screen, it is for a work chair standard 17631. So for like I explained how we are considering this, so concept remains the same for deciding family and lead model, but yes, the essential parameter differs, the testing at factory differs. So if we talk about the work chair, the essential parameter for deciding family will be construction of chair, like it is with reclining provision or without reclining provision, with casters or without casters, or with footrest or without footrest. Also, you need to consider the maximum user mass and users per hour week. So this is the criteria or the essential parameter based on which you have to decide on the family and further on the lead model. Also, if you see on the screen, test in a day, so they have defined in the product manual what all tests you need to provide perform during the factory audit. So it's design and workmanship, dimension, stability, and strength test. So this is for workshare which you need to consider while deciding the family and for preparing for the test during the audit. The next one is okay, let it come on the screen. Yes, so next one is for chairs and stool. So again, uh, the concept remains the same, but what you need to focus for the family decision is there are category like type 1 and type 2 category. So when you check the type 1, it covers dining, folding, easy chairs or stools for domestic use. And when you see type 2, it covers training, conference, visitor cafeteria chairs, including high chairs for institutional uses, etc. So this is the category based on which you again need to decide on the family. And also with casters and without casters is one of the criteria, with footrest, without footrest. And test, if you see, again, it is similar to the work chairs. It is design and workmanship, dimension, stability, and strength test. So this is when you decide what all models under the same family, you need to consider all those essential parameters beforehand, so that you completely define your product family, category, variants, and everything gets then included under your scope of license. The next one will be the table and desk standard. So here also, if you see, the performance category is the main criteria to decide on the family. So office tables, office work areas, meeting tables, pantry tables, etc. And the other will be domestic tables, like which are used for bedroom or living room or study use. So such two categories you can consider for while deciding your family. And again, with this product also, you need to focus on the construction. So with caster, without caster, fixed heights or adjustable height. So this is the criteria where you need to focus while deciding the family. And also for every lead model, when you are selecting a lead model, you need to also give a justification that why you have selected this lead model. The next one is storage unit, which is IS 17634. And again, if you see, we have this performance category, and they have divided it into domestic, institutional, light, and heavy. So test level 1, 2, and 3 are the performance category based on which family has to be decided. So family grouping, scope, these are almost common, and based on this you have to decide this family. But testing may differ, packaging and marking may differ as per product manual Indian standard. You need to see what they have defined for the packaging and marking. So maybe some changes in the label or that is required after license, that also need to be checked. So this is quality assurance plan is another thing which also need to be managed after grant of license. You need to regularly keep a check on the quality assurance plan. So that is also defined in the in Indian Standard and Product Manual. So these are the parameters which you should check beforehand, whether you are complying or you have all these capabilities at your end for testing, for quality assurance plan, for packaging and marking, and also you understand the scope, the grouping. So what all products you have to refer the scope of the Indian standard, like in the on screen, it's storage unit. So if you see the scope of the storage unit, you have to see the movable parts, non-movable parts, domestic uses, institutional uses. These all type of storage units are covered under the scope. So then you need to understand that my products falls under this category and I need a BIS certification for this particular product. So then another one is for beds. Yes. So here in beds also, you have a essential parameter, like you need to check whether it is with headboards or without headboards, with storage or without storage. And then again, the same concept follows, that you decide on family grouping. If you talk about the scope, which all beds should be covered under Indian standard, then it is adult beds and ready to assemble units. So these beds are under the scope of Indian standard, which needs to be certified to before manufacturing or to access Indian market. The last one I believe is for bed bunks. This is Indian standard 17636 2021. And here the scope covers all adult beds for domestic and non-domestic purposes, ready to assemble units. And there are some exclusions as well. So that is why it is important that you read Indian standard to understand the scope for your product. Suppose if it's a water bed or air bed, then it is exclusion. So it's not required to get a certificate here. Again, this essential parameter for family decision, it's construction of bed, which has to be considered, like with storage or without storage. So this parameter will define your family again. And if you say test, so test mostly remains same for the factory testing. It is again design, workmanship, dimension, stability tests, and strength test. So this is about the this is about all the furniture products, and how we need to understand before we actually start with the process of documentation or before applying for the certification. So now with this, I'll complete and will pass on this further to Abhishek.
Thank you, Rashmi, for the insightful slides. We will now cover the BIS certification process for the furniture products. So as we know that uh, it is broadly divided into two categories of the applicants, like it is for the domestic manufacturers and for the foreign manufacturers. For domestic manufacturers, as we can see in the slide, there as the furnitures are coming under the scheme 1 of the BIS. So BIS has provided two options for the domestic manufacturers to carry out this certification process. So we will first see the option 1. The option 1 applies to the products which are only listed in the guidelines as released by BIS for scheme 1. They are a total of 76 products, and they have to be mandatorily undergo this option 1 normal procedure. So this normal procedure takes about 90 days to cover for the certification process. It starts with the online BIS application to the branch office. This all the domestic applications are carried out by online portal, and in this first the manufacturer has to register into the Manak online portal, and once you have the credentials, we have to log in into the portal and fill in certain details, which I will list out and are not limited to, like manufacturing details, correspondence details, and IS details that we have identified for our product, raw material details, and the list of test equipments, level of controls, manufacturing machines, organizational charts. And then after uploading the relevant documents in the prescribed areas, we have to pay the requisite fees, and then the application is submitted to the branch office. And after the successful submission of the application moves to the second stage, that is on-site factory inspection, where BIS will nominate their inspectors. They will visit to the factory. They will validate all the information that is submitted by the manufacturer during the application stage. And on-site factory, there could be some mandatory test that has to be performed in one day, like for your furniture products, it could be dimensions and stability and strength tests that could be performed in one day. They could witness the test, and after the inspection, the inspector would draw the sample, and they will seal the sample. Then the manufacturer have to send that sample to the BIS recognized lab for the third party testing, where the lab will assess the sample with all the tests which are prescribed in the respective IS Indian standard. All the tests will cover like surface testing and including stability, strength, durability. All the tests that are prescribed in the Indian standard will be performed at the lab. And once we have the conformity report, uh, that our product is conforming to the Indian standard, the BIS will take the decision to grant the license. And this whole process takes about 90 days for the domestic manufacturers. And once we have the license with us, license is always subjected to the renewal. And license could be valid at first. The license would be valid for minimum of 1 year and maximum of 2 years. And when it comes to the renewal, the renewal is an ongoing process. It has to be carried out 3 months before the expiry of the valid license. And we have to submit certain details in the form 12, and of course the BIS marking details of the products, and pay the required fees, and the renewal is done. And in the option in this scheme 1, the renewal is valid for a minimum of 1 year and maximum of 5 years. And as we have discussed, there is an option 2 also for under scheme 1 that we will see in the next slide. So the option 1 is also called the erstwhile simplified procedure, as we can see. And the scope of this option 2 in prescribed in the BIS guidelines, there are 1,000 plus products which could be carried out by option 2. And furnitures are also listed in this annexure 2C of the guideline, and furnitures could also be carried out with option 2. So the option 2, the whole procedure takes about 30 days as per the process listed out in this slide. So in this option 2, we will start with the testing of our product. So in the first stage is to just generate the QR code and paste this QR code into the 2 of your samples that you will be sending to the lab for the testing. And once we have the test reports, only then we are going to apply for the license. Suppose we have got the testing reports, and now by the latest we have to apply to the application, and it is an online application similar to the option 1. And here also we need to fill in the similar details regarding the manufacturing, regarding the product, and test reports has to be uploaded at this stage that we have received on our prior testing. And once we have submitted our applications, the factory inspection will be carried out by the inspector, and they will also witness the test report that we have carried out in the first stage. And after that, if our product is conforming to the Indian standards, they may grant the license in the next step. And after that, we have the license, and license is always subjected to the renewal. And in this case also, the renewal is valid for minimum 1 year and maximum 5 years. So this process takes about 30 days lesser than scheme 1. And there are key differences between option 1 and option 2. So first difference is of duration, of course, and second difference is that we have to keep test reports handy for option 2, and in option 1 the test is performed after the inspection. So these are the 2 options for the domestic manufacturers that we have covered. And we will see in the next slide that how we do the registration for in the Manak online portal. So this is the link that is being reflecting in the slide, Manak online and Manak registration. Once we go into this link, and we will see this interface of conformity assessment. Then once we need to do login into as a new user registration, we will fill in the details that is reflected in next slide. So in this slide, we can see there are some general information that we have to fill in. The information could be of correspondency or applicant, that is email, password, name, date of birth, nationality, ID card, and all these details. Once we have filled, then we have the login credentials. Only then we can proceed with the option 1 or the option 2 process of the certification. Yes, this is the when once we have the credentials, we will log in, and then we can see in the second picture we have apply for a new license. Through this, we initiate our certification in the online portal. And we have the next, yeah. So we have covered the domestic manufacturer process involved for BIS certification, and now this process is basically for the foreign manufacturer, and this process is going to be 100% manual submission to the BIS FMCD office, and of course it starts with the documentation. The documentation we will see in the next slide, but once we have collected the documentations, and then we can fill the application in the application form 5 and submit the application to the BIS manually. And after the receipt of the application, BIS may initiate the on-site factory inspection, where the inspectors will visit to the foreign manufacturing site where the furnitures are being manufactured. They may witness all the uh, documents that is being submitted by applicant, and after during the inspection they will withdraw the sample, they will seal the sample, and then manufacturer have to send that sample to BIS recognized lab where all the testing would be carried out as per the prescribed Indian standard. And of course after that when you have received the communication of grant of license, the AIR has to sign certain documents like agreement and indemnity bond at FMCD office, and AIR is authorized Indian representative who is representing the foreign entity in India. And after that, once we have the license, the process remains same. You have it is subjected to the renewal, and this whole process of foreign manufacturing certification scheme takes about 180 days in the minimum, and the renewal is of course ongoing. And we in the later slide we will see the comprehensive documentation that is required for FMCS furniture certification. So yeah, this in this slide we can see that a comprehensive data requirement for the furniture manufacturing certification scheme. Sorry, foreign manufacturing certification scheme for furnitures. And as it starts with some critical documents are like for nomination of AIR, that and after that all the documents remain same that we submit in the option 1 as well. And we can see that some additional documents like agreement and indemnity bond and performance bank guarantee has to be submitted post license of 10,000 US dollar, and application is of course made in form 5. I think we have covered the process for the domestic manufacturer and the foreign manufacturer as well. So I will pass next slide to the team.
Thank you, Abhishek. I think we think that we will cross few minutes from this session, so I apologize for, but we request if you stay for a while. I will try to cover the important aspect. But thank you, Rashmi and Abhishek, for your deliberations. And I think it's important, as you see, the Indian standard holds the key and product manual holds the key to define a good quality application to the BIS, so that it's something that you need to consider. And the process, I think both options are available, so we would be happy to. And then of course the testing planning is something important. You will see from the cost part also that how you have to plan as a business person. Next slide please. So something on the AIR obligations and requirements. The AIR, it's an authorized India representative, and it's an individual person. It's not an entity. it's a person that is signed up by the foreign manufacturer, and this person then holds these appointment and legal status. As Abhishek was mentioning, it's required at the time of submitting your application. And they have also, I think on your left hand side, if you see the personal liability, so then how you are covering this, because that person is responsible, but it is also linked to the manufacturer for the non-compliances and anything that you are not meeting the terms and conditions of the agreement of covered under the BIS Act 2016. And this main agreement, which is signed by the AIR on behalf of foreign manufacturer as a licensee, so that is signed at the end of the procedure in person at the BIS New Delhi office for foreign manufacturer to complete the process. So this is important, that what are these conditions, and that should be well written and should have a formal contract and understand the financial obligation also for this individual person, so that the cooperation is necessary for the license, and then the maintenance of the license. So both financial and legal commitments for the AIR, I would say on behalf of manufacturer, is important, and he or she should understand that what he signs up for. Then the responsibility for compliance. So they are ultimately the contact point for the authorities, the BIS. So they, of course, you will, foreign manufacturer also gets the communication, and AIR also gets the communication. But usually the local contact points prefer to contact AIR for the maintenance and the coordination work, because this authorized signatory gives them the control of the overall application, and therefore it's responsible for the compliance. Then continuous representation is required, as I said, in a way that it's required to be present when the licenses are granted, and signing of this agreement happens at, at the BIS head office. And this is essentially for foreign manufacturer. Domestic manufacturer do not have this requirement, and it's a manual submission for foreign manufacturers. There is some change in the process, but it will take some time. By this, the application for foreign manufacturer is manual, and also the standard mark and everything which you do as a licensee, they are responsible. So it's also that this AIR roles and responsibilities are sometimes hidden in this legal text, but we would try to explain via this slide. And then uh, who you should appoint the AIR, the foreign manufacturer. Of course, if you have a foreign subsidiary in India, you have a company, license office, or anybody, one person that should become the AIR. It's an option A and recommended by the BIS also. If not, you can also consider a person, some senior at your major importer or distributor. And if you have multiple distributors or importers and you do not have the office, you can also select option C, which is independent AIR, an individual person. And there you would definitely need support of consultants and whom you can rely upon. So REACHLaw, of course, offers these AIR services, and we will cover this at the end of my presentation. Next slide, please. Now looking at the cost part. So the BIS cost from REACHLaw side, we tried to split it into three categories. One cost element that the fees are for the authority, that you pay to the authorities. And if you are a domestic manufacturer, then you pay the fees, all the fees in Indian currency, INR. And if you are a foreign manufacturer, wants to obtain the license, so foreign manufacturer applies directly. It's not that the importer applies for them or does everything. It's a foreign manufacturer who applies, and then all the fees are paid in US dollars. So INR currency is converted into US dollars, and then you have to pay everything in US dollars. But these are the components for BIS fees under scheme 1, where furniture falls in. Your application charges, marking fees. Marking fees is your ISI mark fee. Inspection charges, including visits and accommodation, and the inspector per diem charges we will see in the next slides. And then grant of license, the fee is also there, annual license fee is also there. So let's say Abhishek mentioned it's 1 year validity and then you are renewing, so its annual fee will come. And then bank guarantee is something between bank to bank, is for the foreign manufacturer only. And then the another cost that you will need to budget is the testing fees. So the product that you are manufacturing and the Indian standard, and this testing fee is also one of the major cost component, as you will see next. Uh, and this is where I'm looking the foreign manufacturer. So this slide talks about the percentage of the cost a foreign manufacturer typically for any one product is an estimate. So it's not that the this $8,475 is an estimate fee. So around $8,500 is what a foreign manufacturer pays total cost for getting the certification for one product category. And then on top of that they have to make this bank guarantee. But if you see the cost, the travel cost is approximately 50% of the entire cost of the compliance. And then you have testing and advanced marking fee also as the component. So this is in a way describes that you need to consider clubbing the inspection so that travel cost is minimized if you have multiple factories and so on. So REACHLaw of course supports here on how this is done in a cost effective manner. But still this is what you're looking at when you are a foreign manufacturer of one product category license. Coming to the domestic manufacturer, we have, because in domestic as you see that the discounts are there, the discounts on marking fees are there. So this is where you will see the BIS charges only. It doesn't include the consultant. So if you hire a consultant, any companies for example like us, you will top up this nominal fee for the consultant who will help you with the end-to-end certification process. But this is somewhere 1.6 lakhs to 4 lakhs is what we are paying for the work chairs, starting from the micro enterprise to the large enterprise. Okay, so this is something on the cost side. So if you need the next slide, this will cover general purpose chairs and tools coming from 1.5 lakhs to 3.5 lakhs again. This is what you're talking about. And this is the BIS charges covering entire charges according to the regulation, and the testing fee we have considered from some labs. So there you will find also an option that how you can minimize this testing charges. So there also we will have some recommendation for companies trying to work with us, because this is one of the major cost component besides marking fee if you see the total cost of certification. And also the inspection charges we will try to club if you are manufacturing all articles in one factory. So here it's 80,000 to 2 lakhs, which is less from the last two articles. And next slide you will see the budget for the storage units, which is approximately 1 lakhs to approximately 3 lakhs. And this is something as you see the marking fee is controlling major share here for your cost. And then this is for the last is the bunk beds from again 90,000 to 2.2 lakhs. So marking fee is something which is I would say the actual fee that you pay based on the units, but this is an estimate, because we at REACHLaw we try to provide everything transparently to help you understand the cost and the budget. And the last slide from my side is the regulatory updates. So let's see what what I would like to basically summarize what we discussed. So furniture QC implementation timeline, this is already implemented. So industries is now in active compliance phase. You need to really work upon completing your certification as early as possible. And there are certain exemptions, as I mentioned. This is more of R&D related, stock related, and then export oriented products if you import. And then you have important is the post, what happens now. So the surveillance will, the government can come and visit your factories if you continue to sell non-certified goods. So market surveillance, factory inspections, checks, and it will increase now because the date of implementation is 13th of February 2026 for large and medium enterprise, and but August is around the corner. So for small and micro, you must act now to achieve your certifications. And its importance is growing because only valid license, for example, imports in the customs, and then foreign manufacturer will face difficulty for sending goods to India. So you must start applying for certificate immediately. It will take 6 months, as Abhishek was saying, so minimum timeline to achieve your certification. Then e-commerce is again important. So online marketplace, that you only sell certified goods, and retailers and distributors will become more aware of the goods that you are selling to them. It will continue to grow. So please remember that whatever you are facing right now will not be there in coming weeks or months. So this you will face when you are in business. So industry trends, I would say, is of course important, that furniture buyers will of course look for BIS marked products. BIS is looking to promote this campaign, and the market entry for the BIS certification for foreign manufacturer is a market access regulation for them. An early mover will definitely gain the market share, so that you build more customers. And as REACHLaw, we become the AFMT member is to support you in achieving this compliance, full compliance, and also in a maintenance phase that covering your. So we have e-commerce supplier compliance service. We know how to onboard them, how to educate them, vendor development, and of course, if they need certification, we can help them with the certification. So it's also supporting companies to only use the compliant suppliers. So we take up that project for on behalf of e-commerce companies. Then end-to-end BIS certification service for domestic and foreign. Authorized India representative, if you need support on testing, we use partner labs, or we support you how to organize this testing, like Rashmi was mentioning grouping, but it's part of our end-to-end certification. Then inspection support, if you would like us to accompany the inspector, we would be happy to do that. And then renewal service, as license is not issued for lifetime, we support with the renewal service also. And Manak IT support is something that we do to support companies like foreign manufacturers to how to handle that IT portal, because this is also changing time to time. And then annual maintenance is something we recommend because of surveillance, because of a lot of communications from BIS. You need a dedicated person to manage the communication from authority and maintaining your licenses on annual basis. So with this, I would like to end the session. So if you see, we are coming to the Q&A session now. We have some questions that we have received at the time of registration. I will take those up first, and then I will see that we will take up some questions from the chat. So yes, the first question is about clarity on the BIS implementation for marketplace. This is I just covered that, and also covered in the presentation, that only BIS certified goods should be sold, and your supplier must be compliant now. You must educate them and take support if you require good hand holding of them, but they eventually need to certify themselves as manufacturer, and then you can use them on your marketplace. The second question, I want to know about the BIS certificate for furniture. I'm manufacturing modular furniture in both wood and metal. So this is related to, I would say, modular furniture, and covering both items. So maybe Abhishek, would you like to take this up?
Yes, Gagan. So it is for the modular furniture. So for understanding the applicability of Indian standard, we need to go through the scope of the respective furniture product. If we have the details of those furniture product, we can better identify the applicability. Also, if we cannot, clearly understand the scope utilizing the Indian standard, we will then need to take this case with BIS in order to mitigate the risk and understand the final applicability on your modular furnitures and type of furnitures you are being manufacturing.
Okay. So
Yeah.
thanks, Abhishek. And then the other questions, I think, want to know about BIS certification. I believe our presentation gave you some information, and then need to know more about the BIS for furniture, being sourcing, personal and national internet. I think this is more of what we covered in this session today. We are a trading company. Can we do bank guarantee on behalf of manufacturer? I think this is a good question. Yes, you can do, but there is some linkage, and we can support you further if you are looking how to solve this problem. But yes, there is a solution available. We would like to understand legal framework. This is also I tried to cover because in the essence of time, as you see, we are already 10 minutes ahead of the scheduled time. So we would like to respect your time, but I would still like to take few questions from the chat box before I conclude this session. So the first question that I received is related to the that whether dining table and coffee table BIS is required. So answer is basically yes. The IS standard I think 17633 is covering these office tables, work desk, meeting tables, pantry tables, and domestic tables for bedrooms. And dining tables and coffee tables are also covered, provided they're intended for adult use. So you need to understand the scope as mentioned in the Indian standard. So read. If you're unable to read, take help of consultants. It's easy for you to understand what it means, and then of course it's something that needs to be considered. Then we have another question which is towards the end. What are the different schemes and how to identify if BIS certification need for the IS mark is sufficient for all key products? Again, the schemes, as you see, there are actively where you need the mandatory certification are the three schemes: Scheme 1, Scheme 2, and Scheme X, which is a recent scheme for machines and which has a less product due to some changes in the regulatory requirement. But yes, Scheme 1 and Scheme 2 are active, much active, and Scheme 1 is where furniture falls in ISI mark, and Scheme 2 we mainly cover electronic products, IT products, and these are the two active schemes. And on BIS website you can find out the list of products. It is defined by the Indian standard and the name, generic name. But Indian standard, if you open or you get to know Indian standard, it will really help you understand your product. So it is not with some identity or tariff codes, but it is something you need to understand the Indian standard. But this list is open and public at the BIS website. So I would like to, we have a couple of more questions. I would request if you go to the contact slide, please. I would request all the participants to send questions to us if these are unanswered, considering the time limits we have. And we would like to answer those once they are coming to our inboxes. So with this, I would like to thank all the participants and once again AFMT for organizing this session. We would be glad to offer more concrete sessions, more understanding the specific products with AFMT in future, but without you must start looking at your certification and start the process as early as possible. So once again, thank you very much for listening us, and wish you a good day. Thank you.